Reshaping the business of harvesting personal data from extractivism to inclusivity using design science. I am Fernando Beltran, and this is our team. So, what is our project about? Well, let's start with the question: how does my personal data end up being sold at utterly efficient, ultra-fast auctions? Well, let me tell you about Tim's story. Tim, an entrepreneur and tech enthusiast, found himself seeing how the data from his phone was being sent out every time that he started to run an application or any app on his phone. And he could observe how the data would go through a series of steps. First of all, by writing a script and running some software that he himself developed so that he could see that data such as his location, the ID of his phone, and even the battery level was being shipped out. And he could notice that the first recipient was something called a supply side platform that would enter in a trade with something called the demand side platform, which would act on behalf of advertisers. The advertisers would purchase the data that was being sold at an auction. And they would do so knowing that the data would take they would take them back to Tim's phone where an ad would be sent for display. And this is how Tim started to be suspicious about this activity when he uh, started to see more and more ads arriving to his phone every time he was running an app. So that kind of situation is an example that our project is addressing. And what are the goals of our project? First of all, we want to develop a prototype protocol to assist any user who's facing the collection of personal data to negotiate data use conditions. And that may include monetary compensation. And that's either directly with those data collectors or with some organizations called data pods. The project objectives are first to understand our own awareness regarding personal data drainage and the loss of privacy due to personal data use. Want to develop a protocol that intervenes in the unbalanced distribution of the value we see arising from these data trading markets and the distribution being between the data collectors and the data generators. And to empower the individual with the means to counter personal data collectors' insatiable extractive activities. How? Well, we use design science, and we use it combined with value-sensitive design. We want to develop prototype as a software application. We'll do it with five procedures in 5 stages. First of all, running interviews, and we have also run an online survey to investigate 300 New Zealanders' understanding of how their personal data is used in different contexts. We move then to design and development of the app, evaluating and testing the app, and going into dissemination of our work through academic publications and a final report. We were able to do so with the help of Juncture, Dialogues on Inclusive Capitalism, a research center created in the Faculty of Business and Economics at the University of Auckland. Juncture engages with the conundrum that capitalism is both humankind's greatest invention and a system that poses existential threats. Thus, Juncture has asked, can we change capitalism in a way that retains its undoubted benefits whilst minimizing its undeniable harms? Our project says, yes, we can. And it aligns with Juncture's goal of accessible, transdisciplinary, and business relevant research, supporting the evolution towards a more inclusive society that is going to allow us to participate in the data economy. Also, our research challenges the current paradigm, seeking to the evolution towards a more inclusive approach to doing business by empowering consumers to expect fair compensation from those profiting from their personal data. Welcome to Reshaping the Business of Harvesting Personal Data from Extractivism to Inclusivity Using Design Science.